There's a place I know so well, a place that's in my heart. I hold it close inside myself. It's where I end and start. It's where the cliffs rise high and sharp above the deep, cold blue, where hard slate rock meets gorsebush flowers, dark grey with yellow hue. The northwest wind that hits the coast drives waves onto the shore, pounding hard each sandy cove, churning up the seabed floor. The gulls they circle overhead, their screeches loud and sharp. Each pointed headland black and strong. The sky is vast and dark. The wind it hits my face so hard as I stand on the cliff in the rain. I am alive, I feel alive, I am alive again. I am alive, I feel alive, I am alive again. And this place called home that I know so well will be my home again.
Hello guys, today we're learning about the evening history of harbour, town Blystra, and now it's called Newquay. You know why? I think you don't.
Ugh, we grimace, my mum and I, as from our warm car we assess the white water, rain and muddy skies. And feeling weak behind the eyes and soft of skin, we nod the old line. It'll be fine once we're in. So in our DIY dry robes looking like Roman togas made of towels, we shuffle down the beach track. We reach the lippy mermaids with their nerves of steel for half an hour stolen back. Back from the world, 30 minutes stolen and plunged back into ourselves, and it's in that moment of meeting that we are transformed. From wusses to warriors, when coats and socks come off and are packed and shoved upon the rocks, and swim caps give temporary shots of Botox. The first bare skin meets the first breath of wind in shock. And knowing it will be much worse in the water, we reassure through gritted laughter, we'll feel so good after. And we walk into the ocean, marching like a battalion to battle? Like a rugby squad to a match? No, we don't walk like men, we glide. Like maidens in the meadow at midsummer, like sages commanding the waves, like witches in the woods at full moon. And don't we cackle, owning the insult, our generational wisdom, owning our gendered strength and its persecution, our female intuition. Owning it and shrieking. For all those women who couldn't and for those who still can't. This is our protest. This is our dance. Shrieking. For ourselves, as the cold cuts through decorum and delicacy, through facade, frustration, fear and elegancy. Here our only mistress is the sea. And she is on our side. She severs the chains of time, flicks the catch on our springs and allows release. Weights of grief, of relationship trauma, menopause, illness, separation, operation and divorce. It all tumbles out and is taken by the waves. And for 10 minutes, that is where it stays. And it's in these swims that I shrink. For my youth, flat stomach and tight skin, for once it's not a proud thing, but a symbol that I haven't really lived. Here, space is made for wrinkles and worry lines, because they are signs of living and joy and fights, the women that bob beside me in their cold. Their bodies are a walking record of the sacrifices made for love, a map to the triumphs and defeats of families, for futures and legacies, tags and stretch marks, each a battle scar. And in their faces I see what lies ahead of me. In me they see what lies behind. So I shut up and listen to learn all I can about what is to come. I'm taking mental notes as we float, and I'm surrounded by taboos. Usually women's experience can be diminished to a whisper, but issues that in any other circle would be hushed, like an under-the-breath mutter of a hot flush, is here proclaimed proudly. Damn it, I'm a woman and I'm gonna woman loudly. Sometimes we only need talk to break barriers. And like that, we are done. What is said in the waves stays, warriors, witches, maidens and sages walking wild and bare in the rain. There's a secret we hold. This is more than just a swim. We're no longer soft of skin. And every time, it exceeds the old line. It's more than fine, once you're in.
Whenever season it is, there's a light up there when it's night and all day, and the boats were trying to get couldn't see the harbour. They put that light up on top, and they could tell where the harbour is. Now, that is quite clever, and it is actually really clever, really.
I like Newquay because I like charity shops and I like the beach and I like playing pool at the pub.
Hello everyone, and welcome to my little video-style Newquay Museum tutorial guide thingy. For the Blystra film event, I've just done a short film of Newquay on a normal busy day. From this particular museum to the Killer Court and the harbour, with all the flashing camera work.
This part of Newquay, with the people walking by and the recycling truck going through. Now it's off to Town Beach with the sweeping camera angles, views of the sea, the people, the clouds, the waves, the water. Now let's go to the Killer Court. Quite a view from where my camera is filming, though I had to squat down on the floor for it to work. For a very choppily edited version of my little tour of the outside the Newquay Museum car park with the cars going by. And finally, a little tour around Newquay Cinema, and then straight from the museum car park all the way down to the top end of Town Beach.
And we found lots of shells on the beach. We sadly found lots of rubbish on the beach and we put it in the bin.
The most visible impacts of plastic debris are the ingestion, suffocation and entanglement of hundreds of marine species. Marine wildlife such as seabirds, whales, fish and turtles mistake plastic waste for prey. Most then die of starvation as their stomachs become filled with plastic.
One restless night, I went to the cliff top. I crouched in the darkness and heard the waves crashing below. The wind shook the grasses at me and said, "Remember that you are wild." Oh yes, I remembered. Of course, I'm wild. And I sank my fingertips into the grass, swore to be a channel for truth, love and beauty, and to stand up for all my siblings. I went to the beach at 2 a.m. I stood at the edge. The waves rolled up to me and said, "Remember that you are free." Oh yes, I remembered. Of course, I'm free. Then I knew that the sea is a lake of tears, shed in pain, shed in joy, and I shed mine too. She mingled them into her vast body. I sent love and healing to those I shed tears for, and I grew strong. Then I went to the trees and stood underneath, at the quietest place I know. No people, no traffic, no birds made a sound. Through the night breeze spoke the trees. Close your eyes, weary traveller. Remember that you are loved. Of course, I remembered. I am loved. My head fell back. Like a baby sister, I couldn't understand their conversation, but I felt included and bathed in the deep, easy love of the trees. I am wild. I am free. I am loved. And that must be enough. But I have to remember. And tonight is the night to turn everything around. Charged with the magic of nature in darkness, of listening rather than looking. I can return to earth and rest safe in the arms of my rock.
Do you know how lobster pots work? They climb in and then they can't get out, and then they pull the lobster pot out and then they open it. And how they open it is that they unhook it and then they open it out and then they take it out and then give it and then just unwet it and then just leave it there for a few days. Let's see if I can just get this down so you can see it.
Maybe don't get it down.
Or I could. And then they would give it out to let us all eat. So if you're ever wondering if you ate a crab, you would have been eating something looking quite gross.
I wish I had more time each day to do the things I love. To meet good friends, drink tea, eat cake, stare at the seagulls soaring above. I wish I had more time each day to swim in the deep blue sea, to feel the sand beneath my feet, to walk, to breathe, to be. I wish I had more time each day which I could call my own, and then I could spend even more time enjoying this place I call home.
Hello, something about the tides in Newquay. If it's a full moon or a new moon, or crucially just after, then high tide will always be at around 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night. And if it's a half moon, then high tide will always be around lunchtime. Obviously full and new moons bring along high tides, that is spring tides, and half moons are always going to be neap, that is not very high, not very low. So you should always be able to tell what the tide's going to be if you can see the moon. Here in Newquay, of course, we have tides up to 7.8, 7.9 metres high, which is why we've got this enormous great harbour wall, one of the highest tides in the world really, after a couple of places. I think it's somewhere in Canada and a couple of other places, but Newquay's here, you know, Cornwall in general, very, very high tides.
I do not think old stories are asking us to believe in them. Once upon a time is not a call to logic. Cormoran and Cormelian, Blystra and his beloved Agnes, the boulder-bowling behemoths of Cornwall's giant legacy, the mermaids and ghouls, lovable fools, piskies and knockers and disappearing tools. They're not literal history. We were never asked to believe in the details of them. They're the call and reply from the spirit of this land, the nature that moved our ancestral cousins to rouse and gather and shout aloud. Sun lash, wave crash, cliffsides on the crumble, beach fire, church choir, storms to keep us humble. And shall Trelawney live? Heave away, haul away, going up Camburn Hill, coming down. St. Piran and Pasty Grease and Heritage going miles underground. Standing stones and buried cities waiting to be found. High street shops and back street chats. Local, tourist, richest, poorest. Rower, blue tit, surfer. Pilchard, herring gull, gorse flower, seal. Kittiwake, badger, granite, kestrel, beaver even. This world out here, from Land's End to the Tamar, it's all story. The same stuff our ancestors felt, the same stuff we are made of. Nature. You don't have to believe in any particular thing. You just have to get amongst it and feel. You already knew that. You've always known. So, you coming?
Thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate it, and I hope you enjoyed the whole video.